It's the show button. Hey, Chris. We'll see you later. Just hide that over there. And yeah, we're live. We're awake, I think. Hello, party people. Hope you're doing well on this Saturday morning. Because it is morning. No matter where you are in the world. Because Eastern Standard Time is the only time that matters.
Yeah, I'll let you away with that one. You control this one. You control it all. So you're saying what? Afternoon? Sorry, what?
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Hello, Gio. Hope you're feeling well.
Morning, Gio. And see, Gio's on Eastern Standard Time.
This is true. I'm being outnumbered. So, good morning, everybody. This is the Game Won't Play Itself podcast. Oh, yes. As we're closing in towards episode 200 of the shows. Been a long time. So, how are you doing this morning, James?
I'm awake. The caffeine hasn't hit my system yet. So, I'll let you know when I feel like a human being.
That might be about 3 hours time. You go, oh yeah.
I'll be sitting there and be like, oh yeah, purple. Yeah.
That's like, oh yeah, that ass.
That ass.
Which we'll get into. Poor choice of words in a bit. So I am Lord Teammaker. That is James Atkinson. We got some content dump to give you. We've got some what we've been playing, shout outs and pimp outs, no doubt. And yeah, we'll let you get on with your day. Oh yes. So content dump. It's a medium content dump, isn't it? It's like we've had a nice meal on Friday, waiting for the weekend, and thought we won't overdo it today on Friday. Wait till the weekend and then we'll splurge. That's kind of the content dump we have today.
Yes.
So the Inside Xbox happened on Thursday. Did you see any of it?
No. I was working.
Not even a semi-lurk while it was on, one screen Xbox working on the next and going, oh.
If my employers ever come and watch this video, no. I was totally focused on work, and I had Bloomberg pulled up on the other screen.
Fair enough. Well, I did watch it, and I was happy with it. Okay, except for one moment, which I'll get into in a moment, because one of the good things I saw, and one of the games I'm actually quite interested in, is a game called The Medium.
Okay.
And the music, when it started playing, I'm like, when you get this sort of deja vu thing,
mm-hmm.
and you go, I've heard that before. Where have I heard this music before? It wasn't really the music; it was the composer.
Uh-huh.
Because he was the composer who worked on Silent Hills.
Oh.
Yes. So it is a horror game.
Right.
It looks like you can shift between worlds, which looks really cool.
Like a medium can.
Mm-hmm. There was also a game where, what's it called? Something Infinity. Oh, can't remember the name of it. Basically, what it is, you start off. It looked like a gun game. It looked like a first-person shooter.
Right. And
then swords and shields start coming into it, so you can swap between for fights.
Okay.
Again, all the games on this looked impressive. Okay, showing on the new console, the engine of the new console.
Yes, the new engine.
The new engine for the console. Now,
it means it wasn't mean it was running on one of the consoles. It just means it was running the engine.
Yes. So more than likely come through PCs that had the engine on it.
Yes.
Now, there was one bit people were looking forward to from Ubisoft, because Ubisoft unveiled Valhalla, which we discussed last week.
Can we copy strike Microsoft for emulating?
We might be able to. We can ask YouTube. They copyright strike everything. Now, Ubisoft promised that they would show some gameplay demo later on after the announcement trailer, the launch of Valhalla. And they said it was going to be on Inside Xbox. So a lot of people were happy and excited to see this. Me being one of them, I wanted to see gameplay in action. Their definition of gameplay footage and our definition of gameplay footage is completely two different things. It's on two different continents of our definition and theirs. They come back with, oh no, it was just a in-game engine. The actual footage was in. It's like, oh. So you lied, and then you tried to pass it off as PR bullshit to get people interested. Yeah. No, we didn't mean that. No, we didn't. No, honestly, it was bullshit. You know, they lied to us to get us excited for the product when we already were.
I mean, most people probably would have been, if you didn't lie and just said, we're just going to show you more stuff from the game using the gameplay engine, same amount of hype, everything's fine, there's that. Instead, though, we get this, and I mean, I can't really trust most video game companies now anyways. If they tell me it's gameplay, you never know. Until we, to be honest, until I see a guy standing on a stage, or a guy sitting like next to him with a controller, playing the game, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, we don't do we? We just sort of, we have to trust it.
Yeah, and to be honest, and I even said this, like, one of the games that I'm most hyped for, Cyberpunk. Remember that first kind of gameplay trailer that they showed, that like had like V going through and like rescuing like the person and like getting them taken away by the medics? Yeah. Like they did the whole like breach and clear mission. Like, to me, that was awesome. It had alpha footage splashed all over it, but it looked too on railsy. If it makes sense, right? It looked... Yeah,
there was a 45-minute demo at EGX last year that we saw.
Yeah.
You know, the guy must have been so good at it by then that it was just second nature, with constant. They didn't feel like there was any room for error of if he does something wrong once, you know?
Like, for me, driving the car sequence, if he had spun out once, I would have believed it.
Yeah.
Nobody has played any open world video game with cars and not like their first or second, third, or like third time getting in the car spun out. It doesn't happen. You can't. You can tell me you've never done it. I will call bullshit on you. We've all played Grand Theft Auto, or most of us have.
Yep.
But we've all played Far Cry. I mean, we can kind of akin Cyberpunk to Far Cry, and just because it's a first-person open-world shooting type game with RPG elements and first-person driving, and I know for a fact I would spin the fuck out. Regardless of that, Valhalla looks interesting. From what I've heard and I've read, is that they've taken a lot of the fan feedback on about the leveling bloat, the gear bloat. They're supposed to like, you know, make things good and everything. That is both good and it worries me. It's good that they're taking fan feedback on. The problem is when I hear that they're planning on changing it for the fans and everything like that, that also worries me the fact that they're going to dumb down some of the systems and dumb down some of the games. And I kind of, as much as like the leveling bloat was kind of a bad thing, it's not that it was bad. It was just took forever to do. Like, leveling was a chore. You had to grind, right? In Odyssey, in Origins, you kind of felt a little grindy.
Yeah, it is a bit grindy. The problem I have with the leveling as well is they decide to level up. You have to level up to their level, and then unless you change a setting in the game that was put in as a patch, they level up with you as they go, as you go. So it's a case of they're level 49, you're level 32, you grind your way up to them, and then when you hit the 50, they go to 50.
Right, so it's consistent progression to keep the game difficult. You never feel like an overpowered badass.
No, you never do. And when you come up against bosses that have millions and millions of health points, and we're talking that like Cyclopses and stuff, then it turns into a real hardcore boss fight. And you don't feel like you're getting too far because, again, it feels like they unnecessarily made it to the point where you have these weapons and they do all this damage per second and it's an RPG feel. Then you get to the fights and you're hardly doing anything.
So I think they have to fix the damage scaling and the leveling scaling. But do you want to know what's the easiest fix? And I think you would agree with this. This is what my easiest fix for that entire series is. I'll get a big red hat that says it. Make assassinations great again. Besides from certain story reasons why you can't, an assassination should instant kill every enemy.
Yes, absolutely.
If you do that, now tell me, well, if you did that for Odyssey, they no other changes, but made it so except for like certain story locked content or enemies, assassinations killed instantly. Would that solve 90% of your problems? Because it seems like for me in Odyssey, once I never beat it, I got about halfway into it, I got to like level 25. It just didn't seem to be like a point. There was no point of sneaking around and like doing it. It was just like I'd rather just pick my fight so I'm in an open area where I can easily control the battle versus like trying to sneak in and stab somebody and maybe get half their health down and like blow half my meter to maybe critical them and get 2/3 of their health down. It didn't seem like any point. It was just like, let me pick an area where like, okay, there's a cliff here, so if I get the elite enemy here, I can Spartan kick them off the cliff and instantly kill them. It's like, okay, let's think about that versus like, take it away from what it actually is. Assassin's Creed. Assassin.
Yeah. Stealth kills.
Yeah.
Silent. Not there. Invisible. Can't see.
How many times now have you gone and your character just taps the person on the shoulder, sucker punches them, and then like stabs them in the shoulder with the lance of Longinus as the assassin kill? That's all. I've watched some of your assassin. That's all it is. I'm just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You've made a literally the one mechanic in the game, one of the few mechanics in the game that has lasted the entire series, and you've made it irrelevant. Make assassin kills irrelevant, and that solves 90% of your problems. You can still have
you're also trying to get around the bounty hunters, right? Because you see the bounty hunters come up. They're mercenaries that you're supposed to try and compete against almost, because there's a bounty on your head and they come after you. Now, if you're stealth killing, then their alarm's not raised. They're not coming at you. Which makes it easier and better for you, because if you get 3 bounty hunters after you at one time, you're in for a bad day. You will die. You will die fairly quickly.
So, that's my thoughts on Valhalla, and I think that just, if you keep everything the same and just make assassin kills relevant, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good
Even
game.
if you do that, you revert back to the leveling in Origins. Because the leveling in Origins is fine. That didn't change at all.
Yeah, don't put inflated leveling to try and spike difficulty. That doesn't happen. You want to, here's a tip for you, Ubisoft. It's gonna be a little bit weird. Sometimes people like to play out their power fantasies in video games. Sometimes they like to log in and feel like a fucking badass and just murder everything. Sometimes we don't want to have to go in there and feel like, oh great, I'm about to go jump into the Royal Rumble ring, hell in a cell with 10 other wrestlers to try and climb the ladder to get the money crate from Vince McMahon. And one of them is Stone Cold Steve Austin in his prime, Hulk Hogan in his prime, and fucking The Rock in his prime. That just doesn't sound like fun to me. That just sounds like a pain in the ass chore.
Yeah, all 3 of them at one time, you're in for a bad time.
And then also all the members of D-Generation X. Okay, why even do it? It's like all of them down, like, and the worst part is that they're all attacking you first because you're the main bad guy, and then them attack each other.
Odyssey is a disappointment, and they need to change that with Valhalla. Oh, hopefully they will. Hopefully they will actually listen, rather than saying one thing and doing another, which seems to be their modus operandi over the past few years.
We're so sorry.
And you know why Odyssey was like that, don't you? Microtransactions.
Of course.
To get people to not want to bother, grinding it all out. They wanted people to pay their way to do it.
The worst. Well, here's the thing I'll talk about with that. I bought the deluxe edition, like on sale, right?
Mm.
I bought the deluxe edition on sale, so I got like some extra. I got like they gave me some of like the whatever the currency is, like the premium currency. I used that to buy the 50% XP up, and it made the experience more enjoyable because like I was leveling at a decent pace.
Yeah.
And people will be like, "Oh, you're not, you did in that." And you're like, you want to know what? It's a single player game. If it's not an MMO, we've talked about this plenty of times, but you want to know what? If you want to spend, and as much as we hate these microtransactions in the games, and we think it's a pain in the ass, if they provide fun for you, and you're willing to pay for it, and it's a single player game, who gives a shit? You're not ruining my gaming experience by paying for microtransactions. You're the reason why they keep putting them in the game, but I can't be upset at you about that, and I won't be, because if that means you're having fun, I'm not going to trample over your experience. I happen to have the premium currency, and I was told that like if you want to have fun in this game, you need to get this, and I was like, well, I've got the means to do it because I kind of already bought it, though it came as part of the deluxe edition that I did buy, so it would be a waste not to use these because I had spent money on them. And yeah, it made it bearable. The other problem I had too with Odyssey is that like it didn't hook me. Like the main story, like, oh, you found Atlantis and stuff, and I was like, great. Like, oh, there's all these mysterious people all around the world, and I was just like, and then once the game finally opened up, and I'm like, this really is just like, oh, big open game world. Yeah, it's a great big open game world where you just put the quests on opposite sides of the map to make it so that I have to travel all the time to sink time into this. I guess that's the problem with open world games. And also, they've really got to do something about the fast travel system. I felt like that, like, since Origins and Odyssey, they've really taken a step back with the fast traveling. Using those kind of, just using like those jump points. I remember in like the early games was a lot better.
They're trying to use the viewpoints as a reason to have them now, rather than the world you have to use them to open up and continue.
Yeah, but they're always at like then have more of them. That's the thing. Like in previous smaller maps, but you had tons of viewpoints you could get to, so that at least you're closer to an objective. Like there may be a viewpoint now in an area, and the area is pretty darn big, and like you get to the closest viewpoint, and you still have to run halfway across the zone to get to where your objective is.
Yeah, people are like, why don't you just use a horse?
Because it's mountains. Because sometimes it's up a sheer cliff, and then you have to do the whole, then jump off the mountain because those controls haven't gotten any better in years. Everybody's
only the climbing mechanic going up. The mountain has got better because rather than having to look for handholds, they gave the nod to Zelda Breath of the Wild and went, "Oh, we like that mechanic. We'll do that."
Assassin's Creed does walking sim. Yeah, pretty much. I actually wouldn't mind an Assassin's Creed has done a walking sim. They did the whole like go through Egypt, right?
Yeah, the tours, the discovery tours,
which I thought was actually very good and educational. Like that that is interesting. That was like, okay, when I saw that come out, I was like, that's cool. All right, that makes sense. Like, you know, I would almost want to say like get a couple of scientists and get a couple of archaeologists in from from like the British Museum of Natural History and stuff, and have them do the voiceover of that stuff. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Make like a tie in that way. That would be cool. I watched I forget what it was, but it was the I forget the guy's name, but he's all over YouTube. He's like the programming guy, but he also did the he played the game of against
Hmm.
like one of the British side, like the guy who like figured out the rules on how to play it. And the guy basically like was like he's the archaeologist in the British National Museum of History, and he's just huge white beard, just crazy looking guy. And they're playing this game, and it's like it's a game that's been around since Babylonian times, even before that. And it's just like we're playing it now, and the rules is like the rules are just as simple for me to understand, and it's also high stakes. But also the archaeologist was just shit talking him the entire time, which is fucking hilarious. He's like, well, I do believe my opponent is very, very intelligent, but I am the one who came up with the rules for the game after deciphering them from a tablet. So, though I believe his mathematical and statistical appearances will help him, well, I might have an edge.
I would change the rules as I go.
No, he didn't. Also, speaking about video games and other games, I read a shower thought that I feel like I have to share. That says the most perfectly balanced game of all time is chess. In centuries since it's been invented, it's never had a balancing change.
Very true.
No day one patch for chess.
DRM.
Perfectly balanced game.
Speaking of games, there was one other game of note that was on Inside Xbox that I remember that jumped out at us was Second Extinction. It's a squad-based game where you go shooting dinosaurs.
So Dino Crisis, but with squads.
Turok squads, pretty much, yeah. I mean, if you can play it single player, I'll maybe have a look at it, but you know, because you guys know me, I'm more of a single player story guy than squadding up online experiences, unless you get things like Rocket League or Human Fall Flat, stuff like that. That stuff is when the fun really comes out. But if I get to pick, it's single player story game all the time.
Yeah, because I want to bash my own head against the wall and not force other people to go through it with me. Unless you're playing Human Fall Flat, and then that's the name of the game.
Oh yeah.
Bash your head through the wall.
Bash your head through the wall. Find your shortcuts. Break the game in funny ways as possible. And then, you know what? You could bash against the wall apart from your head, don't you?
I mean, we bashed a lot of things against walls last night. I'm trying to think. Is there an obvious answer to this?
There is. There is an obvious answer. Your modified dong.
Oh, Cyberpunk. No, just IGN. Don't change.
Yeah,
need slow media week. Need clicks. Talk about Cyberpunk's customization of the genitalia, because you can do it.
So as you know, with us getting cyberpunk, we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to look at it and go, okay, so what's our genitalia going to look like? Now, if we are a male, we have to be realistic here. So that will have to be disappointing. Am I right?
I have a few things to say on this.
Go on then.
This isn't a rant. This isn't a rant. It's just I have to bring up a few. I have to bring up a few points here to kind of discuss with IGN. First of all, you're in a future where you literally can be in a robot body and body modification, and like you are literally putting cybernetic enhancements in your body. We've all seen Altered Carbon, or at least seen stuff for it, where like body changing and stuff is a thing. There is no reason in that futuristic society that a person could not modify their body to look, feel, show whatever they fucking wanted. Right? Let's start there. Like, in the context of the setting, and by the way, this was also true back when he released Cyberpunk the RPG way back when. Staying true to the source material. We're good there. Besides from that, we're going to reference back to James of about 10 minutes ago. IGN, it's a single-player game. My Cyberpunk avatar, as of right now, will not interact with anybody else's Cyberpunk avatar. So if I want to have a freaking elephant nose hanging between my legs, who fucking gives a shit? It's single player. If it provides me enjoyment, and I'm getting what I paid for out of the game, what does it matter?
I've said that also as well, that I want my nuts to be so big I have to put them in a wheelbarrow so I can call my character Buster Gonad.
I just want to be able to just spam the button, just the soundboard button that just goes balls of steel. Balls of steel.
Iron Balls McGinty.
It just... IGN, you're trying to drive stuff. That's great. I understand. It's not a big deal. Not the first video game with a dong slider. Conan Exiles did it.
Did Saints Row do it as well?
Yes. Saints Row 3 did it as well. And people thought it was hilarious because Saints Row 3 was, satire. The second it becomes serious. Here's the other thing. There's no gender in this game. It's literally whatever you want. They're just like, you don't choose male or female. You choose like a base body type and then you can change it any way you want. They're trying to give people what they want. They're trying to be helpful. And also, single player game. Single player game. It's not Conan Exiles where we're like, my dong is going to be whapping around in the breeze in front of all the 10 other people that play that game. Single player. So, yeah. Sims at 3-4. Yeah. It's not. Look at any Korean MMO. There are just boob slider galore. We don't have a problem with that. Some people consider it a positive feature of the game.
True. But again, some people don't like boobs and they're on the internet complaining, which just completely befuddles me. It does. It's like, what?
One of my favorite video game series of all time has me staring at a man's ass in spandex. As he crouches, crawls. It's Metal Gear Solid. Dude, I've spent more time probably staring at Snake's ass than most other things in video games.
Did you go that ass?
Hideo Kojima is all... He has come...
Sorry about that ass.
He is on record as saying he's an ass man.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, it's so just people. This is... And this... I think this has been out for a while, too. It's just like now it's becoming a big deal. It's like, you're in like the second season of Ren and Stimpy, and then your mom just watched an episode and just now realizes what the show's about. And now they get upset about it, but at this point, you've already watched the first season and a half. It's like, really, guys? IGN, thank you for bringing us the hard-hitting journalism that you do. I look forward to reading your review where you play 15 minutes of the game and judge it on that.
And I give it a 7 out of 10.
Give it a 7 out of 10. Hey, let's be realistic here. I really hope their JRPGs they do a little bit more, because 15 minutes of a JRPG barely gets you past the opening cutscene.
That is the cutscene, isn't it?
Usually, I've started playing Trials of Cold Steel.
Yeah.
I recorded it, right?
Mm-hmm.
First 20 minutes, I fought 2 tutorial battles. And that was with turbo on. I spent 3 minutes of actual gameplay. The rest of it is dialogue, talking, and cutscenes. I was like, oh my god, I forgot what these are like. Then you get play games like Final Fantasy VII Remake, and you're like, yeah, like how well integrated that is, moving in and out of cutscenes, and you're like, okay, this is good. We've evolved here, people. We've evolved. This is good. We can see there's progression. But
As I have said many times before, we cannot spell ignorant without IGN.
People wonder why I read reviews for video games on Forbes. The reviewers on there, mainly one guy who they have is named Paul Tassi, won't write a review until he's beaten the game. Now, usually he gets preview copies of the games, so he does take time to but he takes his time to play through the game. And if he hasn't beaten it by the time the embargo lifts, he will do a running review where he will write a review up to where he is in the game, not score it, and then continue to add on to the article as he progresses further in the game. It's a novel thing. And for me, that's just that's good. You're taking the time, because he respects other people's times. And obviously it's Forbes, so he gets paid on the clicks of the on the articles he writes. So if he writes an ongoing review, people are going to keep going back to that page to read what more he's written. It's smart business, but at the same time, at least he takes his time with it, and he wants to understand, and he wants to at least give people a full picture of it. So I may not agree with some of his reviews sometimes, but at least I can respect the content because he's taking the time to do it. That's all I ask.
Well, the one thing I will say about IGN is they kind of agreed with me with the video that I have been posting up onto our YouTube channel, and that they've given it a 7, whereas a lot of other people went 8s and 9s. I'm like,
for what game?
The Last Guardian.
Oh.
Which is going up on our YouTube channel each week. It's all ready to go.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at 2 p.m. EST.
So, hey.
Until August 12th.
So you got plenty of time to watch it. And it's in chunks. It's in bite-sized chunks of 15 to 20 minutes tops. Yeah.
There's a calendar I have. I spend a lot of time doing stuff. But yeah, Last Guardian. You remember, you guys voted for this game. So you better watch it.
Yep.
We did it for you.
Yep. We raised 1,000, and I said to you, which game would you want me to complete through to completion out of all the games I thought were crap? You guys voted. So there it is.
I'm not guilt tripping you into anything, but
oh, I am.
Come on.
Purely. You asked for it, you wanted it, it's now coming to it.
I mean, you could also watch Volunteer Forge. 288 people agree.
Easy video. So yeah, that's one of the things I've been playing this week. I finished it off. There's some moments in it that are very emotional. The Last Guardian, I have to say, that did pull me in, and then the camera angles, the controls, really just threw me back out again with a thump right up against the wall and knocked the wind out of me.
Would you say The Last Guardian would have been better as a movie?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Much better as a movie. Because here's the other thing as well, right? The relationship you have with Trico. Now, at points you learn. You have to learn how to communicate with Trico to get what you want Trico to do for you, right?
Right.
It tells you, it goes, okay, so you hold R1 and you press a button. You
Okay.
press one of the buttons there, and it will do something for you. It doesn't tell you what, though, apart from one thing. One thing it tells you how to do, and that's to get Trico to jump. Everything else, you need to work out yourself. And you may go, well, that's not a bad thing, surely. You know, you have to make it learn. But then it doesn't bloody listen to you most of the time. So you're there wasting 10, 15 minutes going, look, Trico, just do this fucking thing that I want you to do to make it easier so we get further on. And that takes you out the game as well.
The litter box is in the fucking corner. Why do you have to pee here? I don't get it. There's the litter box. You've gone in there before, but why here?
Yeah. So there's a couple of moments, right? This is fairly spoilerish, not in terms of story, but what I do. There's moments where you have to get him to jump up, and there's at least twice where I was wanting him to jump up. I was pressing the buttons to jump up. I was facing the direction to, turns around, jumps back down. So, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, the frustration is there, and yeah. I'm glad I did it for you guys. I'm glad I've recorded that video for you guys. I'm glad I've completed it for you guys, as I said I would. But oh boy, unless I'm doing something really weird for like charity to try and go for a platinum hunt with it or something like that, that's backlog sorted for that. Also been playing more snooker. We did a tense semi-final yesterday of the English Open against the Jester from Leicester, or as Michael Patterson would call him, miserable Mark Selby. 2 century breaks in there. 2 century breaks in there. Played some Rocket League as part of Tracker 57's 200th stream, which is nice to see him hit that milestone. Had a lot of fun with that. Robin was involved with that as well. So played some more Assassin's Creed. The main story is done. We're now on to the DLCs. There's 6 episodes of those to do, which lasting about 4 hours. So we're almost through. We're almost through the saga until Valhalla turns up. But that can wait. And of course, I have played some more Eternal. I believe if I'm not on the final level, I'm on the penultimate level. The Crucible is a lovely weapon. It is a very lovely weapon. Pity that you have to reload it and then you only get 3 shots of it. I'm making my way through there slowly but surely. The fights are tough. It's a good challenge. And then the only other thing I played last night was with James and Chris as part of the Free Play Friday. It was Human Fall Flat.
Go watch the clip.
Yeah, please do watch the clip.
Just that's all I'm gonna say. Just you want to see what the summary of the night was? Watch the clip. If not, it'll be on YouTube tomorrow. It's on Twitch now. It's an hour of your time. I promise it will be entertaining.
The view I saw in the clip, because you got the house with a slide that you have to use to jump over the ravine. I was on that when that clip happened. So I had an ass side view of that happening. It's a great time. So that's all I've been playing. Oh, Dirt Rally 2. Played some more of that as well. In Spain, which was full tarmac. Like the stage, but it will bite you in the ass if you try and do too much. So that's all I've been playing.
Dirt Rally on tarmac.
I know.
Don't understand it. It's a rally stage on tarmac. Isn't that just a normal race then? Just I mean,
No, because you're still in the confines of it. It's a timed event. You have to go from A to B, But it's rallying is across all different things like
so it's like a drag race in the United States. It's a timed event. You have to go from A to B. It just happens to be in a straight line on tarmac.
Yeah, straight line with was it ethanol fuel cars that could go boom any second.
I mean,
even going straight.
Sounds like you're just doing the same thing with more steps.
Yeah, go left and right.
Did I just bring a meme in? Yes, I did. Oh god, that was good. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. I thought that was good. I have only played 3 games this week. Football Manager.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube save, watch it. We're in the Prem now. So now the save really starts. The first 65 episodes is just the prelude. Now we're where the game really begins.
Okay.
Because now we have the money to buy all the people. No, we don't. We actually have like no money. Sponsorship.
No, you'll see coming up for head in episode 70.
Yeah, no, then we get a lot of money, and then it gets really weird. No spoilers. Then RimWorld. I've been playing a lot of RimWorld.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I've like I want to play Gears Tactics and I want to play Chimera Squad. The problem is that I've started series for those. So if I want to play them, I have to record something.
Right.
And the way work has been crazy the last couple weeks, it's like at the point now where like I want to go and like I want to play something, but I don't want to have to monopolize my fun, which I have. I've monopolized my fun. So I play RimWorld because it's literally a game like I'll just play for like 10 minutes to calm down. Next thing you know, 3 hours have gone by and you're like, what have I been doing? Because it's RimWorld. And then Jedi Fallen Order because I'm close to beating that game. I've monopolized my fun, and I've said I'm gonna beat the game, and I'm pretty sure I'm close to it. I'm chasing down the Night Sister now.
Yeah.
I have to say, like 7 hours into the game, and I finally get double jump.
Takes a while, doesn't it? Are you enjoying it though? Are you enjoying this playthrough?
I'm not really.
No.
To be honest, I turned down the difficulty. Like I had it at a difficulty level, and it was just wasn't fun.
Right.
Aw, Kimmy again with her sub. I think that's what everything just like. All my things just beeped.
Yeah.
Hopefully things are going well, Kimmy. 22 months.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for that long. Jesus. But no, I mean, I'm playing through it because I want to beat it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't enjoy the combat.
That's fair.
It's just because I understand like there's the whole like learn the sequences stuff like that, but like some of these ones, like some of like the guards with like the electro staffs, like I tried beating that was the one that like threw me over the edge. Like
right.
I used 3 stims and couldn't beat one of those guys. And I was dodging left and right, and it didn't work. So I was just like, you want to know what? For my sanity, once again, I'm a Jedi. I should be becoming more badass. And then I got the lightsaber upgrade that gives me more damage. I'm like, this is going to be great. It doesn't feel like I'm doing more damage. It's a game where and I understand like you should use your force powers more. I've gotten to like where I'm pushing guys off ledges and stuff to like, and that's helped. But at the same time, it just, you never feel like you're becoming a badass Jedi. Like beating normal stormtroopers, fine. The second you get to like the next level, like when I was getting beaten down by like the trooper with the shock stick, I was like,
yeah.
This shouldn't happen. And then like you parry it and it only takes down half of their bar, and then you take their other half of the bar, but you're in an awkward combo, and you just like barely tap him, and it does like 1/8 of his health, and all of a sudden his bar goes all the way back up again. You're like, what the fuck, game?
Yeah. So
to me, once you work so hard to get an exploit, and then when the exploit comes, it gives you such a small window of time to take advantage of it. And if you're not in the right combo or the right thing to take advantage of it, it goes away and you can't get any damage done. And it was just not fun.
yeah. See, it's a weird one because that was the one where once I mentally got over the fact that it's not Dark Souls-esque, God of War-esque, that's when I really started to enjoy it more.
And for me, this is more Dark Souls-esque than God of War-esque. And I can tell you why. In God of War, if Kratos gets hit in a combo, he still fucking is doing the combo. Because he's a unit. Like, when your Jedi guy gets hit, Kyle?
Yeah.
Redheaded stepchild? That just shows you, like, how much, like, I don't even know his name. I've been playing this game throughout. When he gets hit, he immediately stops. Right? Like, it's just like, and then he gets flown back or pushed back.
Yeah.
And he doesn't continue through on the combo to help you punish. Kratos, you can make the decision in that game where, like, you're like, Kratos will keep going on with the combo.
Yeah.
And push through. So, like, you can make the decision, I'm going to take damage here, but I'm going to be able to kill that enemy, so I'm willing to take the damage to make that, to win, to do that, to beat that. That's great. That makes sense. I understand. Star Wars guys, he's not Kratos. He's Frailer. It makes sense, but it doesn't give you that ability to exploit weakness. Where, like, you really have to, like, and I've gotten to the point now where, like, I understand, like, you get the weakness opened up, then you freeze the enemy with your force freeze, and then you beat them up, then you exploit, and that's good. That makes sense. But it's just, you're on a limited force power, and then you have to hit saber shots to build back up your force.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That should just be a bar that slowly ticks up over time. The fact that it's reliant on you getting hits in a game where it's difficult to get hits and break through defenses doesn't make any sense. I'm complaining about a game that I'm playing. Story is interesting.
Yeah.
I think it is probably one of the better Star Wars games to have come out in years. I'll give it that much.
Yeah.
But would I play the second part of? Would I play a part 2 if that ever came out? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, it's that Marmite game, isn't it? It's what we heard when it first came out. Some of us would like it, some of us would absolutely hate it.
Yeah. And I was willing to give, and like I said, I was willing to give it a shot. And I'm playing through it, and I'm gonna beat it. But it doesn't check any of my boxes. The RPG elements don't feel like RPG elements.
Right.
Like, the exploration, interesting, beautiful environments. There's no reason for me to do it. Besides some cosmetic stuff. I want my guy to look cool. No, I want to, like, find upgrades to make my lightsaber be more badass, not just look badass.
You want to go full Jedi on the rest. See, just the unstoppable force, really, of just cleaving through stormtroopers. Like,
look at Dark Forces Jedi Knight, or Dark Forces Jedi Academy, or Outcast Jedi Academy. Any of those games. The lightsaber is a fucking overpowered weapon from the get-go. It is bullshit. You can insta-kill pretty much anything with that. Then again, you get insta-killed with it too, in normal difficulty. So, like, there is like, there's a given. But, like, as you go through levels, you get force powers and you level up those force powers, and there's a sense of progression. This game, to me, feels like I'm getting all these experience points and I'm putting them into abilities, and I'm not using half of them. It's like, do this combo, and I've done that combo by accident. The only thing I use the most is, like, when you're sprinting, you can jump and hit a guy. That's, like, the one ability that I've used the most. And then also just increasing my experience in force power pools. Or my health and force power pools. Those are the only things that I've bought, that I've used. doesn't feel like you're progressing anywhere. It feels like you're just unlocking other things, and I'm not the completion. I started being like, oh, I gotta find all the chests, and then once they started gating off areas and like we needed certain force powers and stuff, and then I'm just like, you want to know what? Can't be bothered. I really don't care because none of this stuff does anything. Like if you got like a poncho or like a suit, and it's just like have 25% less health, but 25% more force pool. Or take 10% damage, but deal 10% less damage. Or take 10% less damage, but deal 10%. Something like that. Like, if they had something like that, that would mean I would go and try and find all that shit. Because it would mean, like, it would change something. Make the lightsaber hilts, like, do more damage, or, like, increase the likelihood of counterattack. You know, raise that window. It's just simple things you could have programmed in. Instead of just make Cal look different.
And the robot.
And the robot. And the ship. Which you don't see ever.
Well, you see it parked. You do see it parked.
And do you want to know what? But remember, this is from... The camera's from what? Behind the character, right?
Yep.
So, like, you get out of the ship, and to be honest, the only time I ever see it is when I'm running back to the ship because I've beaten the boss that's halfway across the fucking level and I've had to run all the way back. By the way, fast travel. Would have been nice. Yep. Would have been like fast travel to meditation points.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you could do it in Dark Souls. Do it to bonfires, right?
Mm-hmm. You certainly can. You can traverse the world with bonfires.
Understood why they did it. I like the game is good. The best Star Wars games is Lego game. Best Star Wars games is Knights of the Old Republic, and I will fight people on those. Jedi Knight Dark Forces is really good too, especially because it has acted cutscenes, like actors in front of like green screen cutscenes, which is freaking amazing. It is definitely a '90s game.
Oh God, Rogue Squadron. I remember seeing Chris Light play that. Oh dear, the acting.
I tried to get Dark Forces 2 like on my computer ready to play because I wanted to like play it after this to be like, this is the game that I liked. The Steam version of it's busted. Like,
oh no,
it's like when you like go in to play the game and it brings you into the game, it's a black screen.
Yeah,
like there's like some visual, like I have to go into like E&E files and edit it or something like that, which sucks. I'm gonna see if it's on Good Old Games, because if it is and it's fixed, I'll buy it and play it because it's like $5.
But it's not bad.
But it's just like, you know, let's watch this beauty, because it was, once again, it was an interesting game. It had interesting level design secrets. It was very much in like the Doom motif, but like brought forward to like 1995 graphics. In full 3D, jump up, you can do some crazy stuff, and it gave you the ability to have both a light and dark side ending.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because I remember trying to play Dark Forces a couple of years ago now. And used the mouse and keyboard. It's like, oh. I tried putting the controller in.
They had
around a bit more, but yeah.
Dark Forces 2 had one of the probably the first time it ever happened, an innovative mechanic, which we take for granted now. You could play it in first or third person, but they had a setting that you could check on that when you took your lightsaber out, it would switch you from first person to third person.
Nice.
And then you could like put it. Then when you put it away, it would take you back into first person for shooting. I was like, they had that back in the early 90s. Some of these games can't get that now.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So that's me. That's me yelling at you guys about Star Wars. If you like Dark Soulsy, God of War kind of a game, get it. You'll enjoy it. I don't.
I did.
And you want to? They've had a DLC come out. They've had a free update come out, or there's like there's challenges in it to get more cosmetics. The New Game Plus with an Inquisitor look for Cal. Great. That's awesome. I don't care enough about cosmetics to want to do it.
Nah. Challenges and stuff like that. There's no point. Right. Well, I mean, speaking of 90s games and also early 2000 games, if you are a fan of IDOS stuff, if you like giving to charity, I'm about to post a link in the chat for you guys. The IDOS Anthology is on Steam at the moment for a whopping 95% off. All I know, if you haven't got any of these games, it costs you over here about £26. Considering it's around about £450 all in, if you bought it normally, that's a hell of a deal. That is one hell of a deal. I picked it up. I got more stuff in my backlog now. Shit. But you know what? It goes to charity, so who am I? Who am I to say no to that? You know, so hey, that's my pimp out. Shout outs to chat, you know. Hi chat. Thank you for joining us. We're not going to say about the extra life thing I'm going to do until next week. You can let all the charity people go through. But also big shout out to Crafty Rebel for doing her stream last weekend. She helped us raise a total of £1,471 at last check as part of Team TGWPIS. And so that means tonight, when you're watching this live on the 9th of May, in less than 2 hours, she will be doing Twitch things, which I can assure you, she can sing. She can actually sing. She has a really good voice. So there's my pimp outs and shout outs. Have you got any, matey?
Thank you to Hergelman for making last night very interesting and creating one of the more memorable moments in our streaming thing. We've talked about it plenty of times. But if you haven't seen it, go look at the clip. It is worth your time. The 30 seconds. To be honest, it's worth 5 seconds because that's where everything happens, and we all lose our shit. But thank you to chat. Thank you to everybody for being here. It's been a ton of fun. I guess we have to go. I guess we'll head off now.
I believe so. I think we're done.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, there's one more thing. There is one more thing. We have to get people to decide what next week is going to be in Free Play Friday.
We'll post it in the Discord and tweet it. We'll do a Twitter poll and we'll do a Discord poll like we did last time.
Mm-hmm.
For all of you guys. 3 things. You guys decide what we play for Free Play Friday. It's only an hour, so just be warned. And it's something that all 3 of us own. So remember that. But bollocks will ensue, as usually does. As Chris says, we talk about video games a lot. Why not see us play them?
Including people that try to get in on it and try to get round us saying no by thinking we forget they're in there, and 5 seconds later saying, "Hi, can I play with you guys?"
He wasn't being malicious. He wasn't being a dick about it. He was trying, but it's like I almost at one point we did say we've played this game before. This is literally because we're memeing through this. We're joking through this. This is what we do. We're not taking this seriously. We're not trying to beat this fast. So, all right, everybody, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Friday, if not before then.
Bye. Have a good week. Catch us on our streams and YouTubes.
Yes, and I have no idea what's going to play. So, bye-bye, everybody.
Take control. I see a vision rising.